Continuing with items on the Power Commander terminal strip, we know that these first two are for your switches, launch control, or quick shifter. The next three out here are going to be your speed sensor, so we can actually tap into the bike's actual speed sensor. So it's a Hall effect, a square wave sensor that we just run the signal direct up to the Power Commander 6, and then we calibrate the speed that sensor frequency is outputting at a spec speed. Maybe you're on a dyno around that 35, 40 miles an hour. It's giving us a frequency. We calibrate to that to say 40 miles an hour equals 47,362 pulses. So we calibrate that, store it inside the Power Commander, so now you have speed inside your Power Commander 6. That avails perhaps quick shifter gear dependent kill times, where we can correlate speed input to the gear ratio through gear ratio, and then have those gear advanced maps or gear dependent quick shift kill times. If you don't tap speed input to then get that gear position, you can actually do it off of a raw voltage. So maybe your gear position sensor has a voltage that it toggles through. That's what this next hole out here in the terminal strip is for, is to tap an actual analog voltage. It might be a speed sensor. It might be your manifold air pressure sensor, or an accessory sensor that you've powered yourself, maybe an Ashcroft or a Honeywell type pressure sensor that's in your manifold somewhere. You just route that analog input right into this, set up the transfer function inside the Power Commander 6 to read in that. Say at a quarter volt, it's 0 PSI, and at 4.5 volts, it's 100 PSI. Then you can set up a pressure-based table to not only fuel your machine or spark your machine based on throttle position or RPM, but you can also advance your map out to control fueling based on that pressure input from your tapped signal. Or if it's simply just your gear position analog voltage, that in between these voltages, it's gear 1, next voltages is gear 2, and so on. That's the benefit of that analog expansion on the terminal strip of the Power Commander 6. Couple notes regarding the terminal strip. This is a weather-resistant device. It is potted, and there's actually a foam batting behind this terminal strip. Take a very small piercing tool and puncture the foam of whatever hole you're trying to slide your wire into. The back side of this, the terminal strip, is just screw terminals. So before you go trying to jam a wire in there, pierce that foam batting, loosen the screw that you're intending to, slide that wire in, don't force it, and then screw it back down. If you're using one of our Dynojet accessories, they will come pre-stripped and tinned, so the solder actually bolsters the stranded wire, so it slides in easier. If you're using your own wire, do take the time to strip and tin that and make it nice and firm, so that as you slide it through that foam batting, it slides right in without fraying those wires. When you're doing switches, doesn't matter which one you would use. Switch input 1 and 2, you can make switch input 2 your quick shifter, switch input 1 your map switch, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Polarity on the switches, so you've got 2 wires, they can go in either hole. Polarity is not dependent on this terminal strip. It's purely a yes, the contact is made, no, it's not made when it's open. So each of those 2 inputs nearest the harness exit of the enclosure are where you will find switch input 1 and 2. This hole out here on Power Commander 6 is not used. The furthest one from the closest to the edge of the enclosure, furthest away from where the harness exits, it's not used on Power Commander 6. So now that you've installed your Power Commander 6, you're familiar with power core and kind of the basics, maybe you've installed a map switch or a quick shifter. Now we're going to get into actually integrating them together, where we'll have to, calibrate our gear position, advance out those maps to have more than one table per cylinder or per gear, and walk through just a little bit more integration inside PowerCore and how you can leverage PowerCore software to make your ride the ultimate ride.